All right, how's it going, everybody? This is Tim with King's Options, and here we are again, end of the week, beginning of the next week, however you want to see that. But it is Saturday night for me at about 9:30 at night. Um, let's take a look and see what we got. So, last 5 days, as far as sector trackers go, you can see what succeeded, what failed. Overall, the S&P 500 index is showing a positive 0.3%. Communications looks like they did really well. Consumer discretionary did well. Energy financials, not so much. And utilities, honestly, I thought technology did worse than that. I'm surprised it's even green, but there we are. So that gives you a breakdown on there, and we'll take a look at see what that looks like on the charts. Here is the um, earnings coming up for the next week. So take a look, see if there's anything you're wanting to play with, anything that may be moving the markets. We're pretty late in the earnings season, or early, depending on how you look at it. There's basically, oh, look, meme stocks. Yay. But is what it is. Now you've got that. Pause, take a look, whatever you need to do. Moving on to the economic release calendar. So for the 7th, 8th, and 9th, nothing under the market mover. So there's some other stuff. I'm not going to pay attention to that right now. These are also only United States. So go to your own cmagroup.com. Fantastic website for education, reporting, any number of things. I mean, just seriously fantastic website. Highly recommend going over there and checking it out, see what they got. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are the ones with the key events that we're really looking for. We've got PPI final demand coming up Thursday. That's on Wednesday. On Thursday, we have jobless claims CPI on Thursday. So that's fun. Going to be fun. And then what do we got here? It looks like commodities. Um, so supply demand on commodities. Those are our big market movers coming up. Let's go ahead and jump into some charts. Take a look, see what we got. First, RTY. How did we do last week? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's gonna be oh, short week, short week. You almost forgot. It was Labor Day on Monday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Basically, you had it come down. We dipped into this level. Okay, we had already marked this as an inefficiency level. We dipped into it, held it, and then shot up. Now, interesting thing being 23,441. We haven't hit the 24,777 or 2477.1 above it yet, which is the all-time high, if I'm correct. Yeah, thank you. There we go. So I haven't hit that. We are sitting pretty handily at a nice um, high level here. We're going to leave this at the bottom. Not that. Well, we're going to leave that too, but we're going to leave this level at the bottom, mostly because I think this is still valid. The top of this area is what we dipped into, but eventually kept closing above. So that's still valid. If we do turn around, let's see, there are a lot of indecision. I mean, you look at that doji, and it's going to look the same for most of the markets, I do believe. But a lot of indecision right there. Where is that sitting? That is sitting, the top of that is sitting right in this area. Okay. So basically, we're fighting with all-time highs, is what that's looking like. And we're in an area where price has been pretty popular in the past in this area. So not surprising we've got some indecision here. If anything, if we are going to continue to the upside, we could just look at it to continue to build a base, right? Continue to build a base till these averages sneak up a little higher. So always a possibility. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to the YM. YM because M. That's YM. And okay, so this one, Friday does not look quite the same. This one wrote it down, however, stayed within its range. Okay, all-time high. So basically, we fought with it again. We got up here. We saw it. We didn't exceed it, but we did see it and drop back down. But we hit a level. Also, the inefficiency area dipped in, came back up. We were a little steeper in this, kind of took out a lot. If we want to, we could say for this efficiency level, we could actually bring it down a little bit and say, okay, maybe there's like that much of the inefficiency level left if you wanted to do that. But really, this is the range we're looking at now. Do we close below here? If we do, where do we go? We've already got a level marked below. So as it is, the week was pretty neutral. Steep, sorry, I keep starting with 5 days, but steep drop off with a recovery each time. Shot up, shot back down, stayed in range. There you go. That's why I am. What do you want? ES, let's go check out how the S&P 500 fared. Looks a little bit like the YM, doesn't it? Difference being that this time Friday set the all-time high again, but we're still basically in this range. We can get rid of this inefficiency because that is gone. We saw price action come and hit it, actually touched the level. Also aligned fairly well with the 50-day SMA. Came back up, held the 21, held the 21. Started high, started high. Actually, this high where it opened at all-time highs, and then popped another all-time high, dropped back down, but holding that same level, holding the 21. Compounding factors here. This does not look bearish. It looks sideways at the moment. Does not look bearish. We will see if that continues this, and maybe it's a rollover. Do we need to move any levels? Yes, we do. This one here is going to, let's put it at the top of the actual candle body. And I want to say the candle body instead of the actual high because it's closer to here. So it's kind of splitting the difference between this swing high and the all-time high at the top of the candle body. And we'll see what happens. This is an area. It's a range. What do we do in this area if? And we'll find out. As it is, price is right here. Nice and rangy. With the past week, maybe a little bit on the downside, but that's where we are. Do I like the low side there? I feel like it a little lower. Got this here, got this one here, got the candle body here. And actually, I think I like it there better. Yeah, I like it there better because we closed the candle here, popped up, dipped down, but I think that's a better floor. So if we're gonna turn around, then we need to break this and then see where we go. And of course, we have this this low double bottom pool of liquidity, but can't talk, pool of liquidity beneath it, and then we have another target low here, which aligns pretty handily with these other ones. I'm gonna go ahead and mark that just because I want to. That's the whole reason. And I'm gonna kind of split the difference there. It looks pretty good. So there you go. You got kind of a triple bottom thing going on there, which means below here we got a ton of liquidity, especially as the next low below that is going to be down here, maybe right here. So here-ish. Also good point of efficiency. This gap could fill. Did we come down and fill a gap? Possible. From the all-time high, that'd be 400 points down. Boy, would that be ugly. But hey, could be. That'd be like 7% down, I think, right? Because 10% down would be 650 points, ballpark it, from the all-time high. So 400 points down, yeah, be like 7.5% down. That's seriously ballpark math, people, but you get what I'm saying. NQ, my favorite, the most fun, and what an interesting week this was. This was a crazy week. It was a good week, don't get me wrong, but it was a crazy week. Having caught in futures trades the downside and the upside. This was a good week for trading, but more importantly, it set a wide range. Look at this. 23,330 came down, touched this level, right? 23,030. 800 points higher is the next level, but we actually closed almost a solid 800 points higher. So 1,000 point week right here in these 4 days. 1,000 point week, and it is so weird to see that this was an up week. To look at it from this point of view, let me tell you why. See, I trade on a 1 minute chart, and on a 1 minute chart, I made my money riding all of these down, for the most part. I mean, I think there were a few positive trades, but the point is, it's like the bulk of my trades and the biggest trades were all riding to the downside. And you can see by these wicks where we opened, right, especially on Monday and Friday, oh my gosh, did they drop? They looked ugly, so ugly. They looked so ugly. And then we popped back up, recovered here, held here, got back above the 21, held the 21, dropped down to it, held it, and we're a stone's throw away from the all-time high yet again. So what do we have looking forward? I think I want to move this one up a little higher. I could probably get away with leaving it where it was, as we have this level here, but really we're going to need to break this. This is a strong candle, regardless of what it looks like. It's a big range, very big range. So yeah, really want to see. I'm on the daily, right? Yeah, I'm on the daily. Okay. Um, and no, I'm not showing. Uh, this is well, this is daily, so it doesn't really matter. Anyways, so we ended right in the middle. Like pretty good. Looked like an ugly day, but really ended up being more of an. I don't want to say doji because it's not a doji here, but you get what I'm saying when I say we closed here and then we closed here the very next day. The range side, we still stayed in this area, and we were looking at this area here as a range holding this 23,391 level. Do I want to lower that 23,391 level? Maybe down here? No, I don't. I'm going to leave that alone. I think that's a good solid area. If I moved it anywhere, it would be to this candle body only. And the reason why is I think if we start closing below this level, which I'm perfectly happy with, we could come down and see this again. And then do we break through? Do we absorb the buyers and push sales through? Because we've got a pool of liquidity between here and here. We have a pool of liquidity. That pool of liquidity is about 400 points. What is that? 778, 78, 79, 79, 78. No, sorry. It's about 300 points. My math apparently is really sucky. But anyway, it's about 300 points. So a little bit less than, obviously, because this is 70, that's 30. But um, what is that? 200, 200, 260 points. Yeah. Anyways, so there we go. I like the way that looks. That's fine. But man, this was such a crazy uh, week with so many opportunities in trading these 4 days. And Friday was, I didn't actually even really like Friday. The way it started out, because I also only trade for the first hour and a half, right? So I trade a very specific time frame. I have very specific goals in mind. I have a very specific way that I trade, things I'm looking for. Um, Little bits and pieces of these things will show you what some of that is. Can't show you all of it. The one thing I've learned over doing this for past, well, I think it's like 8 years, 9 years, something like that now, is that trading is very personal. I've spent more money than I can shake a steak at in courses. The young trader, the early trader is like trying to find the magic, magic black box. It just does everything. The one system to rule them all. Blah blah blah. The fact is, it doesn't exist. All systems work. All systems fail. Uh, because the person that invented them, probably that worked for that person, right? And then there's like standard systems that have been around for forever. It still depends on how you apply that system, and that's you. That's personal. You got to find the pieces that work for you, the pieces that don't, the pieces you trust, the pieces you don't. Get rid of the crap. Keep it simple. Honestly, this is probably a far more marked up chart than what I would normally use to trade. Well, let me. It's only 13 minutes in. Let me set up a chart and show you what I might use to trade. So here's Intel, and I'm not going to trade Intel or anything like that. But the reason I had Intel up is because of the government deal they made. I want to see how that affected it. Apparently, it affected it pretty well. Nice little pop right there. Anyways, this is just also daily chart. Let's go to a 1 minute chart. Hey, here's what we're gonna do because I trade this NQ. We can go to NQ, NQU 2025. I don't know. Yeah, I don't trade on this platform, so we're just gonna go with NQ. Yay, there we go. Okay. We're not linked, so let's hope this doesn't delete all my levels. You know what? Just in case. Well, it's already recorded, so screw it. Let's take all this stuff off of here. Let's see if it took it off the other one. Ah, oh, sure did. They're not linked, are they? Unlink. Unlink! Go away. Okay, so those are the same. Didn't look linked. Oh well. Not gonna worry about it. Okay, so this is the counter channels. I'm going to keep those on there, and we're going to leave, yeah, the third shown because that I keep on there. I do not use the Squeeze Pro. I wanted to see, I wanted to see some things. I just don't. I just don't use it anymore. I don't find it particularly useful. Some people do. Some people make that their whole shtick, and hey, good on them. If it works for you, it works for you. All right. I'm going to throw in some very simple RSI, uh, stochastics, yeah, MACD. Okay. I'm going to change this 1470. No, we're going to leave it the same 1470/30. That's fine. Stochastics 49 total. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, we're going to leave those. Looking good. All right. And then on the top here, we're going to add a couple more things. EMA, um, exponential. There we go. I'm going to add two. Add another one. Thank you. So we can change some settings. So we're going to change 1 to 14. We're going to leave the other one at 9. We're going to make this our slow one. So let's put it at a, I want to use them purple. We'll put that at a purple. Okay. And then this one, this one's our fast one. We're going to change this to a white. We don't want the up signals and down signals. No need for that. Okay. Okay. So let's change it to a 1 minute. And then we'll have an idea. Oh my goodness. What I need to do on this still? Here's what I need to do on this still. While that's doing all that nonsense. Futures. Yeah, we don't want that. There we go. Okay. So first thing I do whenever I'm doing this nonsense is I get so if I'm trading Friday, right? First thing I want to do is take Thursday and I want to say, okay, Thursday from the open. And remember, I'm not using any overnight stuff here. And we can make these a little smaller. Don't need these huge. There we go. Looks better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to set that looks like about the right area. And these are ballpark. Okay. I'm kind of showing you how I set up my charts for when I trade. And if that helps you, great. If it doesn't, no offense, I just don't care. You've got to find what works for you. So I'm looking at this area right here is, okay, kind of high. Looks like right there. So we're going to set a channel. I'll show you why I'm going to set a channel. Okay, whatever. You're being stubborn. That's fine. And then the low. That'll work. Low up. Yep. I like it. Okay. So let's zoom in here. Okay, close enough. And on this one, I have default set at 75 and 50%, but doesn't really matter. We're going to go ahead and fill in if it'll let me. Curve properties, a curve, no, blah, 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 blah. Show label, show extension, right extension. Let's do the right extension. Okay, so here's what I'm looking to see. And actually, I'm going to take those ones out because right now they don't mean anything to me. All I'm looking for is a prior day high and low, right? That's where I start. We started here. And since we started, the only times I'm trading are between technically the open, that's like, because I'm here for the open, and then I trade to an hour and a half in. So 9:30, 11 o'clock, I'm done. That's all I'm trading. Now, if I open a trade at 11 or right before, I will ride it out to a target. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not entering any new trades after 11 o'clock. It's just not happening. So I look at a day like Friday, and the first thing I saw when this thing popped open. Now, I'm not looking at my RSI at this point because we've got this big gap. I'm not looking at the stochastics because we got this big gap. So at this point, these two mean nothing, right? Because we're looking at 14 and 12, 9, 10, and even with minutes, we've got to wait till we're at least 15 minutes in before these can even start to count. Keep in mind also on the RSI usually keep a middle line here for 50. At any rate, so right out the gate before the first 15 minutes are up, I'm kind of looking to see what this is going to do. Now, I already know we gapped up. I already know we gapped up pretty high. So when we gap to an open, first thing I'll do is run, and this is pretty much retracements. Okay, so let's see, that's 423. That's ugly. I'm usually using Ninja Trader, so let's get rid of that one, that one, that one. You don't need any of that. Okay. And then I want to go with where we opened, which technically is here. These are hollow candles. So that's where we open. So the first thing I'm looking for in any of these until it actually happens is I'm going to look and see, are we going to hit between 40 and 50% a pullback on the gap? I had a question asked. It was kind of weird, but I had a question asked says, so where do you put the zero? Put 100? It doesn't make a sense. It doesn't make a difference. I know that if we hit 60% in my head, I know that's 40% on the way back down. Why? Because 60, 6 months was 110, 4, 6 plus 4, simple math. 50%, 50%, no matter which way you look at it, blah, 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 blah. You get what I'm saying. So I'm only looking to see if we have a gap of pretty decent size. I've heard 70 points, I've heard 100 points, but if we have a gap of pretty decent size, there's a high probability of seeing at least a 40% pullback. So I'm looking to see if we get 40 to 50%. So this doesn't really do anything for me right now. So it's just up there, right? So far, it looks pretty busy, right? Normally these lines are kept over here, very small. But anyways, what I saw when we opened was we popped up, we dropped down. The next candle, we popped up again, right? But we still ended up closing. We did open up down farther, popped up, but ended up closing without breaking this candle. Next one couldn't get above there. So at this point, I'm thinking, all right, we've got 3 candles, and this one's closing pretty bearish. So if I see us start to get below this bit of structure, I'm thinking downside maybe to that 40, 50% we'll see. So we came down here, we closed, I got in, and sure enough, yeah, I took a little drawdown, but wrote it down. Forget exactly where I got out. It's on another platform. But the point is, I took a few points. I have a tendency to trail my stops pretty close because I have a certain daily goal, and there was no need for me to push anything. If I can get my goal first thing in the morning, great. Anyways, and then that was it. That was it. After that, I just watched. And right in here, it was all messy, and I didn't like anything. We looked like we would be rising up, and then bam, big candle down. Oh, we're gonna rise again. Bam, big candle down. I didn't like any of it. I just saw this as range bound. It was ugly, 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 ugly. So we got in here, and this is where you see these two come in handy. So first off, just to make things easier. Damn it, I don't know how to make them go blind in this one. At any rate, so just follow the 14 and the 9. I'm looking for a crossover. Okay, so right now it says, okay, upward momentum, but I know we're moving sideways. We also keep getting some pretty big down candles, which says, okay, we're getting up here, absorbing the buyers, getting up here, absorbing the buyers. So there's a possibility to break down. Well, here we get a crossover. Here we get a crossover. We've got this nice structure on the bottom. We close a candle. We start closing another candle. I get in this area. We come back up. We held this bottom area because it's an ish, right? And we started moving down. Basically, I just wrote it down. That's it. Wrote it down to almost the 50% level. It's like, okay, 50%. We could turn around here. Did we? Did we not? No. We ended up going down farther, which you can see, but that's all I was looking for. So I closed it early. Running a profit stop was turned around, took me out. Not a big deal. I was doing pretty. I made my goal quite a few times. So at that point, I'm just watching, and we break down again. And we start closing candles below this structure because when we get here, 50%, we can't break back above. And this is getting a little bigger. Now, at this point in time, we've crossed on the RSI. We've crossed below the 50 level. So momentum is going pretty good, but we haven't gotten to extremes yet. So I'm pretty happy with where we're sitting. Thinking, all right, we close another candle on the downside, and I will go ahead and open up another trade. Sure enough, we did. I set my entry up here. Um, well, a little bit higher. I don't know exactly where it was in there. I'd have to look at my trade again, but set my entry here. Sure enough, I mean, a little bit of not even really a drawdown on this one. Came close, but just kind of wrote it down again for a bit. Forget how far we went, how far I wrote it for. But at this point, once we get past 50% and we're still closing candles down, I'm thinking, okay, we're going to fill the gap. We're going to fill this gap all the way. That's my contention. Now, at this point, honestly, I was out. I'm not trading anymore. I did very well. I'm just watching the dadgum thing. Okay. So by the time it gets down here, if that gap's filled, that goes bye bye. I don't need that anymore. You can see the moving averages kept on going down, and we did. We would dip too low. I wouldn't take a trade. If I saw this right here, sure. Did we keep going down? Yes, we did. But if I saw this here, first off, we're at 3 on the counter channels. 3 standard deviation, high probability of reversion to the mean, which it did, right? So that could have taken you out. Very ugly. Also, you had in this area oversold. So we have not only a likelihood based on extension, but we have it also in the RSI, relative strength, saying, hey, you're a little oversold at this point. And we have it down here. So I'm looking for the 50 level between, or sorry, the 0 level between 0 and, what do I have mine set up at? I forget what numbers I have set up, but basically whatever numbers I have set up, that's what I'm looking for. Drop down below, pretty ugly. Basically said, all right, yeah, we could turn around here. We could. Did we? No, we didn't. But in a given trade, in a 1 minute chart, yeah, that would have taken me out. That is not something I would have sat through. Not at all. So I wouldn't have taken that trade. And this would have been my confirmation to stay the hell out of it. But holding the averages, you could certainly take one here. Here you see structure again, right? As soon as we break below structure, you could take that. You could have, if you took it at below structure, 53 down to 34, you could have got 20 points there. Could have suffered a little bit of drawdown. I mean, if you open your candle here and this is your structure, where are you going to put your stop? Stop's going to be up here. Okay. So you got 53. That's pretty big. That's a pretty big stop. That's almost 30 points. Am I going to take that? No, I'm not going to take that. That's ridiculous. 30 points. I'm not putting 30 points on the line. However, you could have ended up with from 53 if you had rode it all the way down that first little bit of suck up right in here where you see the top of this. If you had said took that out, made almost 100 points down to the bottom. You know. Now, if you're trading with a prop firm, depending on where you are, sometimes you have a trailing drawdown. If you get a high enough balance in your account, you don't. At least not with the one I use. But you do have to prove that you can get it there first. So that would have been plausible for me. For some people, it wouldn't have, because all of these reversals would have sucked with how far back that would have taken you if you had a trailing drawdown. The other problem for me with trades like this, I don't hold trades for this long. Don't do it. Not gonna do it. I hold trades for maybe this long, like 2.5 minutes. That's agony to me. I hold small trades, and I've just found that that's what works for me. Very much a scalper. Uh, that's how it goes, and it seems to work for me. So I don't know if that helps you, but it gives you an idea. At least if I set up my charts and the things I'm looking for, the things I use as confirmations, denials. These are what they are. Yeah. I'm looking for crossovers, something like this. You see the spike. We didn't get a crossover at all. And sure enough, we continue to come back down. Um, but this is sitting, yeah, the time frame. I'm not going to be trading anymore. I don't know how to trade in the middle of the day. I know that the way that I set up the charts works very well for this first hour and a half. That's all I need to worry about. And it worked for me. I'm not saying it's going to work for you. It worked for me. Pretty darn good. So, anyways, hope that helps. And with that, I will talk at you later. Thanks. Bye.